Welcome to MidnightFAQ, where curiosity prowls after dark. Tonight, we're talking about predators, pacifiers, and a truth that lives somewhere between teeth and intelligence. Imagine two silhouettes cutting through the moonlight on the same ocean. One is a torpedo of muscle, armed with rows of serrated teeth. The other is a sleek, smiling acrobat that bobs and chirps. One is labeled a killer by headlines, the other, a friend by tourists. So which of them tells the whole story, and which is just a story we tell ourselves? Tonight, we're diving deep into anatomy, senses, social lives, and evolution to answer a simple and deceptive question. Why do sharks scare us while dolphins win our hearts? Expect a few surprises. The ocean rarely deals in simple labels. Let's be honest, first impressions matter. A shark's jaw is a terrifying silhouette. You've got rows of knife-like teeth, that iconic triangular dorsal fin, and a body built for ambush. Humans are hardwired to notice sharp things, so our brains immediately read threat into that outline. It's a primal reaction. Dolphins, on the other hand, have these rounder, almost smiling faces, smooth curves, and eyes that seem to hold a question. Evolution painted two very different portraits here. But these portraits are all about function. Sharks have been evolving for over 400 million years as apex predators. Their bodies are shaped to catch and tear fish, seals, and whatever else the ocean offers up. Dolphins evolved from land mammal ancestors, returning to the sea to become social hunters. Their anatomy reflects that different journey, a hydrodynamic body perfect for speed, a beak for grasping, and a jaw that isn't designed to tear flesh into chunks the way a shark's is. The result is this visceral, almost cinematic contrast between the two. But when we look under the skin, the differences get even sharper. Sharks are sensory machines. They have these amazing organs called the ampullae of Lorenzini, which let them detect tiny electrical fields like the faint twitch of a fish's muscle hiding in the sand. Many species pair this sixth sense with an acute sense of smell and the ability to move silently for a sudden strike. Some, like the great white, are masters of the vertical ambush. They hide below, then explode upwards in a single, terrifying burst of power. That entire design favors surprise and overwhelming biting force. Dolphins, however, rely heavily on echolocation and complex hearing. They essentially see the world with sound. They send out streams of clicks that bounce back, painting a detailed sonar picture of fish, reefs, and any obstacles in their path. Their hunting is often a group effort. They work together, herding schools of fish, corralling their prey, and sharing the catch. So, in short, sharks are often solitary ambushers or opportunists, while many dolphins are cooperative strategists. And that fundamental difference in approach shapes how they interact with other species. And with us. This is where the story we tell ourselves starts to become reality. Dolphins live in complex, fluid societies. They form alliances, they remember one another, and they even use signature whistles that function a lot like names. This social intelligence leads to behaviors that we, as humans, interpret as empathy. We see them rescuing injured pod mates, guiding disoriented young, and sometimes even approaching boats out of curiosity. To our eyes, these actions look like kindness. And because they live in groups, they can use teamwork to handle threats. A pod of dolphins mobbing a predator can be a very effective defense, making them a tough group to pick a fight with. Sharks, for many species, just aren't social in the same way. Many are solitary hunters, driven by a simpler, more ancient set of pressures: eat enough to survive, reproduce, and repeat. That solitary, efficiency-first lifestyle doesn't produce many behaviors that we would call friendly. And when a shark does bite a human, even if it's just a single test bite or a tragic case of mistaken identity, the damage looks incredibly violent. Our brains are wired to remember vivid, bloody wounds far more easily than we remember watching a cooperative dolphin hunt on a nature documentary. Now, here's an important, and maybe uncomfortable, fact: shark attacks on humans are extremely rare. On average, there are only a few dozen unprovoked bites worldwide each year, and most of those are non-fatal. They're also concentrated in just a handful of specific places. The risk of being harmed by a shark is minuscule compared to so many everyday dangers we face without a second thought. Yet, every single attack inflames the headlines, and our brains have this nasty habit of treating rare, violent events as if they're much more common than they actually are. Meanwhile, incidents involving dolphins are often underreported because they're usually less lethal and more subtle. Let's be clear, wild dolphins are not your friendly neighborhood pets. They can bite, ram, or display aggression, especially when they feel stressed or become too used to humans feeding them. That perceived friendliness is not a license to get close, touch, or provoke them. The ocean is, and always will be, wild. So what happens when these two meet on the open sea? Well, dolphins have a whole suite of behaviors that can make a shark think twice and retreat. Pods can use teamwork to harass or mob a shark, aiming coordinated, powerful tail slaps at sensitive areas like the gills. Their incredible speed, maneuverability, and social coordination often give them the upper hand against a lone shark. These encounters definitely add to the lore of dolphins as the ocean's unexpected heroes. But it's important to remember why they do this. Dolphins aren't acting out of some noble altruism toward humans, they're doing it to protect their calves or their food resources. So, that image of dolphins driving away sharks is real enough, but only in specific contexts. It's a powerful picture of brains and numbers outmaneuvering brute force. Ultimately, these labels are as much cultural as they are biological. Sharks, cloaked in teeth and mystery, have been cast as the villains in our stories and films for decades, creating a powerful feedback loop of fear. Dolphins, with their expressive faces and playful acrobatics, fit perfectly into our human narrative of companionship and intelligence. Our language flattens these nuanced animals into simple caricatures, the shark as the archetypal monster, and the dolphin as the ocean's playful pet. In truth, both are magnificent products of evolution, each perfectly adapted to very different ecological niches. So, what should we take away from this midnight lesson? Sharks are incredibly efficient predators, not monsters. Dolphins are highly social and intelligent, and while they sometimes appear to be friends, they are wild animals with powerful instincts. Respect both. Admire them from a distance, learn the facts, and always remember that the ocean doesn't tell us a simple story it hasn't chosen to tell. If you want a better rule to live by, one that helps you see past the visceral image of teeth and the warm image of a smiling snout, try this. Don't trust first impressions. Trust context. If tonight's dive made you rethink the so-called monsters of the deep, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. MidnightFAQ returns with another ocean truth next week. Want a deep dive episode about how dolphins use names, or why great whites breach? Drop your topic suggestions in the comments below. Good night and keep asking the questions the daylight forgets.